Have you ever wondered if your mind is truly open to hearing God's voice? In today's video, we explore a powerful connection between brain science and spirituality, how God communicates through our minds. You'll learn how the brain's natural ability to adapt and grow, known as neuroplasticity, plays a crucial role in how we tune into divine messages. We will uncover the profound impact of our words, emotions, and choices on both our mental and spiritual well-being, and how aligning our mind with positive, divine principles can open the doors to spiritual guidance. Throughout this journey, we will also touch on scientific laws that mirror spiritual truths, laws of cause and effect, adaptation, and free will, all of which influence not just our brain development, but our spiritual growth. By understanding how the brain operates and how we can align with higher wisdom, we become more attuned to hearing God's voice in our everyday lives. If you find value in this exploration of the mind and spirit, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content that bridges the gap between science and spirituality. Your support helps us continue sharing messages that inspire personal growth and divine connection. The brain is a remarkable organ, constantly evolving and reshaping itself in response to our experiences, thoughts, and environments. This ability, known as neuroplasticity, is a scientific concept that holds profound spiritual implications. Just as the brain reorganizes and adapts throughout life, so too can we experience growth, renewal, and transformation in our spiritual journey. Neuroplasticity is not just a biological process. It is a reminder of the boundless potential for change and redemption, both in mind and spirit. Spiritually speaking, neuroplasticity mirrors the idea of second chances and divine grace. It suggests that no matter where we start or what challenges we face, our brains, and by extension, our lives, are never fixed. This capacity for adaptation allows us to attune ourselves to higher wisdom and deeper truths. As we consciously make choices that align with divine principles, our brains respond by forming new pathways that make us more receptive to God's messages. In a spiritual sense, the brain can be seen as a conduit for divine communication. Just like tuning a radio to catch the right frequency, our minds, through neuroplasticity, can be tuned to receive God's voice. As we engage in practices like meditation, prayer, and reflection, we essentially fine-tune the brain's ability to perceive and interpret divine guidance. Over time, with intentional focus on positive thoughts and spiritual wisdom, we create neural pathways that make it easier to hear God's voice in our daily lives. The power of neuroplasticity also speaks to the idea that we are co-creators of our own spiritual evolution. Every thought we entertain, every word we speak, and every action we take has the potential to shape not only our brain, but also our spiritual journey. When we choose to embrace thoughts and behaviors that align with divine love and wisdom, we set in motion a cycle of growth that deepens our connection to the divine. Ultimately, neuroplasticity is a testament to the fact that we are not limited by our past or present circumstances. Our brains, like our spirits, are designed to grow, adapt, and transform in response to divine influence. This ongoing process of change gives us the freedom to continually realign ourselves with God's purpose and remain open to the flow of divine communication throughout our lives. Words are not just tools of communication. They are powerful forces that shape both our inner and outer worlds. When spoken with love, kindness, and intention, Words have the ability to uplift, heal, and strengthen our spiritual connection to the divine. In spiritual teachings, words are often seen as vibrations that carry energy, influencing not just those who hear them, but also the speaker's soul. Positive language aligns us with divine wisdom, opening a channel through which we can receive God's messages. In contrast, negative words, those spoken in anger, judgment, or fear, can act as barriers, clouding our perception of divine guidance. Just as words shape our spiritual experience, so too do emotions play a crucial role in our receptivity to divine communication. When we are at peace, calm, and centered, our minds are more open and clear, making it easier for us to perceive the subtle nudges of divine insight. These moments of emotional stillness create a fertile ground where God's wisdom can take root. A heart filled with love and compassion is like a well-tuned instrument, ready to resonate with the higher vibrations of spiritual truth. On the other hand, emotions like anger, resentment, or fear can block the flow of divine communication. When we are caught in the grip of negative emotions, our minds become cluttered and distracted, making it difficult to hear God's voice. In this state, we are more likely to react impulsively, speaking or acting from a place of ego rather than from a space of divine alignment. As a result, we miss the subtle guidance that could lead us toward peace and clarity. Managing our emotions, therefore, becomes an essential spiritual practice, helping us stay attuned to higher wisdom. By consciously choosing words and emotions that align with love, peace, and positivity, we create an environment where divine communication can flourish. Our spiritual lives, much like our brains, are shaped by the thoughts and emotions we nurture. When we speak with kindness and cultivate a peaceful heart, we open ourselves to the constant flow of divine guidance, strengthening our connection to the sacred and allowing God's voice to resonate more clearly within us. The law of cause and effect is a universal principle that operates not only in the physical world, but also within both neuroscience and spirituality. In the brain, every thought we entertain, every action we take, and every emotion we feel shapes our neural pathways. These pathways, in turn, influence how we think and behave in the future. Much like this biological process, the spiritual realm is also governed by cause and effect. Our inner thoughts and outward actions ripple through our lives, creating spiritual consequences that affect our connection to the divine. What we nurture in our minds and hearts ultimately determines the spiritual reality we experience. In spiritual traditions, this law is often referred to as karma, or the law of sowing and reaping. Positive thoughts, words, and actions, those rooted in love, kindness, and compassion, set off a chain reaction that not only creates beneficial neural pathways in the brain, but also invites divine blessings. When we act in alignment with spiritual principles, we reinforce positive mental patterns and simultaneously create an environment where spiritual growth and divine connection can flourish. In this way, the laws of neuroscience and spirituality converge, illustrating that what we cultivate internally directly impacts both our minds and our souls. Conversely, negative thoughts and actions can have damaging effects on both our neural pathways and our spiritual lives. Repeated patterns of anger, selfishness, or fear can reinforce unhealthy pathways in the brain, making it harder to break free from destructive cycles. Spiritually, these same negative actions lead to separation from the divine, clouding our ability to receive guidance and feel at peace. The consequences of negative actions are not merely psychological. They create spiritual blockages that inhibit our growth and limit the blessings we might otherwise receive. By understanding this, we realize the importance of actively choosing thoughts and behaviors that nurture our spiritual health. Spiritual teachings remind us that we are constantly co-creating our reality through our choices. When we choose kindness, compassion, and wisdom, we are not only shaping a healthier brain, but also opening ourselves to divine grace. Each positive action sets off a ripple effect in both the neural and spiritual realms, creating a harmonious cycle of growth, peace, and blessing. In essence, the law of cause and effect teaches us that we have the power to shape our spiritual and mental lives, inviting divine presence and creating a more fulfilling existence through conscious, positive choices. The brain's remarkable ability to adapt and grow, known as neuroplasticity, is deeply influenced by the choices we make and the environments we inhabit. This biological truth mirrors spiritual teachings that emphasize the importance of surrounding ourselves with wisdom and avoiding harmful influences. Just as the brain reshapes itself based on the inputs we provide, whether through learning, experiences, or interactions, our spiritual lives are also shaped by what we choose to focus on and the guidance we seek. Every positive choice we make enhances both our mental and spiritual growth, creating a foundation for deeper connection with divine wisdom. In spiritual traditions, the need to seek out wisdom and avoid negative influences is a consistent theme. Scriptures and proverbs from various traditions serve as a compass for navigating life's challenges, steering us toward actions and thoughts that promote growth and well-being. The wisdom contained in these teachings helps us align our decisions with divine principles, shaping not just our behavior, but also the structure of our brain. The more we engage with positive spiritual guidance, the more our brains adapt to support a life aligned with higher purpose, fostering resilience, clarity, and spiritual insight. God's guidance, often expressed through sacred texts and spiritual practices, serves as a roadmap for both brain development and spiritual growth. When we choose to follow divine principles, whether it's through meditation, prayer, or studying spiritual wisdom, we create a nurturing environment for the mind to flourish. These practices act as mental and spiritual exercises that strengthen the neural pathways associated with peace, compassion, and wisdom. Over time, the brain becomes more attuned to receiving divine guidance, allowing us to respond to life with greater clarity and purpose. The relationship between adaptation, growth, and divine guidance teaches us that our spiritual and mental lives are not fixed. They are dynamic and constantly evolving. By consciously exposing ourselves to environments and influences that promote wisdom and divine connection, we invite both our brains and our spirits to grow in alignment with higher truth. This ongoing process of adaptation ensures that we are not only learning and growing, but also becoming more receptive to the guidance that God offers, helping us navigate life's complexities with grace and purpose. The law of choice is one of the most powerful gifts humans possess, allowing us to consciously shape both our minds and spirits. Free will gives us the ability to make decisions that either align with divine purpose or lead us away from it. Every choice we make, whether it's a thought we entertain or an action we take has a direct impact on our neural pathways as well as our spiritual path. Just as each decision influences brain development by strengthening certain neural connections, it also sets the course for our spiritual trajectory, guiding us toward growth or disconnection from the divine. In spiritual teachings, the importance of choice is emphasized as a key factor in determining our alignment with higher truths. When we make decisions that resonate with divine teachings, such as acts of kindness, compassion, and integrity, we nurture both our minds and our spirits. These positive choices reinforce healthy neural pathways, making it easier to continue choosing thoughts and actions that bring peace and fulfillment. Spiritually, these choices open the door to greater connection with divine wisdom, helping us align our lives with God's purpose. Conversely, when we choose thoughts or behaviors that deviate from divine teachings, such as acting out of fear, anger, or selfishness, we not only harm our spiritual progress, but also reinforce negative patterns in the brain. These choices shape unhealthy neural pathways, making it harder to break free from destructive habits. Spiritually, they lead us away from God's guidance, creating blockages that prevent us from experiencing the fullness of divine blessings. The law of choice reminds us that our decisions carry weight, influencing both our immediate experience and our long-term spiritual fulfillment. Ultimately, making choices that align with divine purpose brings a sense of spiritual fulfillment and personal growth. By exercising our free will with wisdom and intention, we create a life that is not only mentally resilient, but also spiritually rich. Every choice that resonates with divine teachings strengthens our connection to God and leads us closer to our true purpose. This law of choice empowers us to take responsibility for our spiritual evolution, knowing that through each decision, we have the ability to shape our minds, our spirits, and our destiny. The law of diversion reminds us that when one path becomes blocked, both the brain and spirit have the capacity to shift focus and adapt to new opportunities for growth. In life, obstacles and challenges are inevitable, but how we respond to them determines the direction of our growth. Neurologically, when faced with setbacks, the brain can reroute its focus, creating new neural pathways that allow us to develop new skills, perspectives, and solutions. Spiritually, this principle echoes the idea of trusting in divine guidance, understanding that when one door closes, God often opens another that leads to even greater growth and fulfillment. Spiritually, challenges are often seen as opportunities to deepen our faith and refine our character. When we face obstacles, we are presented with a choice: to become discouraged and stuck, or to trust in the divine process and look for new paths. Just as the brain adapts and rewires itself in response to difficulties, so too can our spirits adapt, learning new lessons and developing resilience. The law of diversion encourages us to see challenges not as dead ends, but as redirections towards something greater, trusting that divine guidance is always leading us forward. The obstacles we encounter in life are not merely random. They are integral to our spiritual and neurological growth. These challenges serve as catalysts for refining our faith, pushing us to rely more deeply on divine wisdom and guidance. Neurologically, difficulties force the brain to engage in problem solving and creative thinking, strengthening its capacity for adaptation. Spiritually, challenges encourage us to deepen our reliance on God, fostering qualities like patience, perseverance, and trust. In this way, both brain and spirit grow stronger through adversity, developing the resilience needed to navigate life's complexities. At times, challenges may feel overwhelming, as though all paths forward are blocked. However, the law of diversion teaches us that even in these moments, there are always new opportunities waiting to be discovered. The brain's natural ability to find alternative routes reflects a profound spiritual truth: that God's guidance is never limited by our circumstances. When we trust in the divine plan, we open ourselves to new possibilities, allowing God to reveal paths we may not have seen before. In this way, the law of diversion becomes a process of spiritual discovery, guiding us toward new directions that lead to growth and fulfillment. Moreover, challenges offer us the opportunity to build character. Both neurologically and spiritually, we are shaped by how we respond to difficulties. Each obstacle presents a choice: to react with fear and frustration, or to approach the situation with faith and trust in divine guidance. The brain, through neuroplasticity, adapts and strengthens with each challenge it overcomes, much like the spirit becomes stronger with each test of faith. This growth process refines not only our cognitive abilities, but also our spiritual character, teaching us valuable lessons about resilience, strength, and the power of trust. In the end, the law of diversion is a reminder that life's challenges are not designed to defeat us, but to transform us. Both the brain and the spirit are equipped to adapt, grow, and find new paths when old ones close. By trusting in divine guidance and embracing the redirection that challenges bring, we open ourselves to new possibilities for growth and fulfillment. Through this process, we refine not only our neurological capacities, but also our faith and character, becoming more resilient, wise, and aligned with our divine purpose. The integration of science and faith shows that these two realms are not in conflict, but complement each other in profound ways. Neuroscience helps us understand the mechanisms of the brain, how our thoughts, emotions, and experiences shape its structure and function. Faith, on the other hand, guides us toward deeper spiritual truths, teaching us how to align our minds and hearts with divine wisdom. When we look at the brain through the lens of spirituality, we can see that understanding its workings can enhance our ability to recognize and receive divine messages. Rather than seeing science and faith as opposing forces, they are partners in our journey toward spiritual growth. By understanding how the brain operates, we gain insights into how to better fine-tune our minds for spiritual receptivity. Practices such as prayer, meditation, and mindful reflection not only shape our spiritual lives, but also create positive changes in the brain. Neuroscience supports the idea that the mind and brain are malleable, and when aligned with spiritual practices, we can open ourselves more fully to hearing God's voice and divine guidance. The harmony between science and faith lies in the shared understanding that both mind and soul require intentional nurturing for growth. Neuroscience teaches us that the brain responds to the thoughts and emotions we consistently focus on, while faith teaches us that aligning with divine principles shapes the soul. By consciously integrating both, we create a holistic approach to spiritual and mental well-being. Through this process of integration, we learn how to quiet the noise of everyday distractions and attune our minds and spirits to to divine communication. In essence, by fine-tuning both the mind and the soul, we become more sensitive to God's guidance. Understanding the science behind the brain allows us to see how spiritual practices enhance our mental clarity and emotional balance, making it easier to listen to the still, small voice within. The integration of science and faith offers a powerful approach to personal transformation, showing that by nurturing both, we strengthen our ability to walk the path of divine wisdom with greater awareness and intention.